What if the last thing a legend said on the phone was not a big speech, but a small hello, a simple plan, or a kind word to family? Stay with me till the end, because these final calls are short, real, and powerful, and the last story will change how to hear a classic song forever. Watch the whole video for a quiet tribute at the end and a way you can help keep their voices alive. Michael Jackson, in his final week. He was working hard and sleeping badly, trying to get ready for a huge run of shows. 2 nights before he died, his son called him during rehearsal. Michael kept it simple: be a good host to the guest at home. Offer food, offer a drink. It was a normal dad moment in the middle of a storm. Family also remember calls where he sounded scared and tired after talks about work. Both sides can be true: a caring father giving gentle advice, and a man under heavy pressure. That mix is what makes his last days so human. John Lennon, he had stepped back into music with joy and new ideas. The night before he was shot, he called the woman who raised him, Aunt Mimi. He sounded bright and full of plans, talking about coming over soon. That simple phone call, warm and easy, became her last memory of him. It reminds us that behind the fame was a son reaching back to the person who made him feel safe. Elvis Presley, his health was fading, but family ties still pulled strong. The night before he died, he called Priscilla. Reports say it was tense, a normal parent talk about travel plans for their daughter. Not a goodbye, not a grand last speech, just the people who shared a life, still connected, even through stress. By the next day, he was gone. That final call lives between love and strain, the place where many real families live to. David Bowie, when his last album came out, people heard it like a farewell. But a few days before he died, he was on the phone with his longtime producer, excited and full of ideas for more music. He believed he had a little time left. That call was not about endings. It was about what to try next, what to build, what to explore. Even when his body was weak, his mind was still reaching forward. That is a beautiful way to remember him. Jimi Hendrix, the day before he died, he was on the phone making simple music plans. A friend asked him to come jam later that night. He said yes, easy, casual. He never made it to that club. That missed jam hangs in the air like a final echo. Sometimes the last promise is just a plan to play, and that makes the silence after even harder to accept. Amy Winehouse, she had been struggling, but she was also talking, trying, checking in. Her doctor saw her the night before and found her awake, not in crisis, but not steady either. Later, Amy spent an hour on the phone with a close friend. They laughed and talked like always. No big warnings, no clear signs. In the morning, she was gone. It shows how I'm fine can hide pain you cannot see, and how a normal call can be the last time you hear someone you love. Kurt Cobain, friends and family tried to help as his life grew more chaotic. After an intervention at home, a former manager called and tried to lift his mood. Another friend missed a call back from him. Those small chances slipped by. In the weeks before his death, Kurt was still reaching out, even when he said he wanted to be left alone. The last calls were not angry. They were tired and lost. It is hard to hear, but it also tells the truth about how mental health struggles can sound. Lemmy Kilmister, Motorhead's leader, lived like thunder, but his last day was quiet and fast. A friend called to check on him. Lemmy did not sound like himself, barely able to speak. His friend said, "Stay there, I'm coming." He did not make it in time. It hurts to know the end can be that fast. It helps to know their friendship was that deep. In the end, the bond was clear, even if the words were not. Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper, after a show in Iowa, they stepped into a hallway phone booth during intermission and made quick calls. A check-in with a wife, a word to a manager. Simple, everyday things. A few hours later, the plane went down in a field, and 3 young lives ended. The phone booth still stands. It is a small space, but it holds a huge feeling. Our last words are often very normal, and that is what makes them so moving. Chris Cornell, after a concert in Detroit, he spoke by phone with his wife. She felt something was off. He sounded slow and not like himself. She called for help. It was too late. Chris's last call shows how hard it can be to pull someone back when a deep change has already begun. It also shows the love around him, love that tried to reach him, even across a phone line. Dolores O'Riordan, the voice of the Cranberries, was in London to record. She left a happy voicemail for a producer, talking about a song she was ready to sing, short, bright, work talk. The next morning, she died. That message is now a soft light in a dark room, a sign that joy and tragedy can sit close together. Chester Bennington, in his last days, he reached out to friends and family. The words were simple and warm. People close to him say those talks felt hopeful. He laughed. He shared. Then he was gone. It is a hard truth. The last voice you hear from someone can be full of love, even when they are in pain you cannot see. Shannon Hoon, the blind melon singer, called home often from the road, sharing small father moments about his baby girl, talking about getting clean and trying again. His last tour call sounded normal. He wanted to sleep. He never woke up. That last call sounds like many calls from the road, tired, loving, every day. That is why it stays with people who knew him. Lane Staley, friends remember rare, quiet phone calls near the end, short, private, careful. He kept to himself, but the phone still connected him to a few who never gave up on him. Those calls do not have quotes that go viral. They have something better, proof that even when someone pulls away, there's still a thread of care. Scott Weiland, bandmates tried to reach him before shows when he was drifting. Some calls landed, some did not. The last ones were about getting to the next gig, about soundcheck, about the normal work of a life on stage. Then the bus went silent. It shows how fast a routine can turn into a story you were not ready to tell. Taylor Hawkins, in the final tour days, he spoke to friends and crew, made sure people felt heard, and kept the band moving. Those calls were about set lists and timing, and telling people I love you the easy way musicians do, with a joke and a smile. The last calls were a link in a long chain of care that band life can create. Every one of these calls carries the same lesson. Last words are often small, a plan for later, a laugh, a check-in, a simple I love you. In the moment, they do not feel like the end of a book. They feel like another page. But when the page turns and there is no more paper, those small words become huge. If you are still with me, thank you. Please watch till the very end of this video for a short, quiet tribute set to the soft hiss of a phone line, just like the ones that carried these voices. And if these stories moved you, do 3 simple things, like this video to help it reach more people. Subscribe so you never miss the next story. And tell me in the comments which final phone call hit you the hardest and why. Your words keep their voices alive a little longer, and that is a gift we can give together.